Zephyr Breeze, little brother of our favorite Yellowshy horse, Fluttershy. This character, regardless of being another shoehorned-in sibling of the main six, made his first debut in Flutterbrudder. And boy, what a debut it was.
I've got my own style, and I think they were a little threatened. I know the whole super awesome flyer bit's just to impress me. I'm just gonna assume you made up my room the way I like it, right, Mom? Oh, I almost forgot. All my stuff is out front. Wanna grab that for me, Pops? Thanks.
Okay, no. I can't do it. I can't do it. It's too cringe. He's too much. We're done. End the video!
And I know I can't give up too soon. Get myself in the zone.
Okay, fine. No, I wasn't going to do a character that had maybe 2 appearances in the show and 1 Equestria Girls short, but honestly, as painful as it was to get through most of his dialogue, and I had to stop groaning just to get through scenes of using his parents, using his sister, using other side characters, and harassing Rainbow Dash. Seriously, even I felt bad for her. I think there's something to learn about him regarding his Flutterbrudder episode. So let's see if we can get a real redemption arc out of a character that I absolutely believe has never talked to a woman before.
Everybody hates Chris.
But to give this guy a fighting chance, and to make this video longer than 5 minutes, I'm gonna need a little backup. Calling the safety patrol.
Fillmore, I'm on it.
If you were a kid of the 90s and 2000s, you are not a stranger to the very underrated kid noir cartoon Fillmore. The premise is Fillmore, a troubled thug given redemption and a second chance by being a safety patrol officer in his middle school along with a full task force. Basically, if Brooklyn Nine-Nine was taken more seriously.
Give me that finger, I'm gonna pepper spray you! Pepper spray me, I will pepper spray you! Huh? No!
Each episode is a different case and story, but the one we're gonna focus on is called A Cold Day at X. Shout out to Shady Durags who talked about this episode's moral. Do check out his channel and other videos about Fillmore and other shows. The episode follows a group of students planning to steal test answers for an algebra test from an unlocked drawer in an unlocked classroom, but Fillmore stays to guard the test instead. Each student has their own reason of taking the test answers, but we leave the ringleader George's reason to closer to the end.
If Carter doesn't maintain a B average, his parents don't let him go skiing in Aspen this year. Brenda needs to pass pre-algebra if she wants to remain eligible for the sculling team. And Mitch Cragmont, if he doesn't do well on this test, he loses his video game privileges.
Hijinks ensues, and with the kids snowbound in the school, it's a game of cat and mouse keep away. Now you might ask, Penny, this episode of an obscure cartoon series came out in 2002. What does that have to do with Zephyr Breeze, a character made in 2016? And then I'd ask, how did you get in my house? Let's compare the two situations. In Fillmore, 3 of the kids need to pass in order to continue the things they like doing, while Zephyr relied on others to either do work for him or enable his lazy behavior. But what really got my attention with Fillmore was this one scene of our ringleader's monologue.
I spent this entire semester working my tail off for Mrs. Cornwall. I did all my homework, read every chapter over and over, and you know what my average is right now? After all that work? A C. A lousy C.
It was right then and there that for Zephyr Breeze's character, it made sense. I commend MLP for tackling the concept of quitting versus never trying because it's such a gray area topic and Fillmore proves it. George worked hard and studied like crazy, but his efforts only resulted in a C average. While I don't endorse cheating, it made his motive actually sympathetic. It wasn't that George, unlike the other kids, didn't try. He did. He put in the work and only got so far. And when I think about it, we don't fully know well if Zephyr put in the same effort, at least for the main styling school he was in, or any other ideas he had before it. Based on how Fluttershy and her parents talked about him, it made it sound like he bounced from job to job, passion to passion, without actually putting much time. But we don't know that.
I have my clouds, your mom has her flowers, you've got your animals, and your brother?
Zephyr Breeze has his interests.
Oh, say, remember when he was convinced square clouds were gonna be the next big thing?
He's matured a lot since then.
We don't know if he tried something that he was truly passionate about, what he studied and practiced for, and seeing nothing come from all of his hard work. The next time we see him, he's a royal guard for Canterlot in Season 9 Sparkle 7. But I guess it's fine since he still graduated. Can most people say they graduated in one field but working somewhere completely different? Kinda realistic. And I would think to be a royal guard, he would have had to do probably more rigorous training than just for his main styling or for the other jobs in the episode. Technically speaking, if the Wonderbolts are their designated air force, wouldn't the royal guards be military? They're at least above the police, and we know they exist at least in big cities like Manhattan. So if Zephyr was able to make it through training to be a royal guard, it either means he has the willpower already to try, or what Fluttershy said to him got him to try again. Makes me think of another clip from a different animated property too.
Look, I know I don't always do what you need me to do or say what you need me to say, but I see this spark in you. It's amazing. It's why I push you, but it's yours. Whatever you choose to do with it, you'll be great.
And that is the correct way to say it. We have the strength to keep trying. I wanted to do this video for Zephyr because I do identify with it. I know I'm not one of the biggest MLP content creators, and I'm getting into this way beyond the end of G4, but I still do this because I like talking about the show and making comparisons to things that I've experienced. I'm not making any YouTube money from it, but it's still a nice hobby. And I think, at least in Zephyr's case, maybe main styling isn't his occupation or real job, but he still succeeded in passing and graduating, even at the risk of failure. But I also get George's motive for trying and not having that effort be enough. And for how long it takes, I think anyone would give up after a while of trying and not getting anywhere. The trick is either knowing when to quit or when to keep going. It's optimistic to think if you keep going, it'll show results, but it can also result in affecting your mental, your physical, even your life if it becomes an obsession. Not what I meant. There's also no harm in quitting either if it just doesn't fit right or doesn't work out. You might put in the effort, you might research, you might study for days and months, but only obtain little to no results. There's no shame in quitting when you've done all you can. So maybe Fluttershy's reasoning was Zephyr gets half marks for how she worded it.
Sometimes you have to do things even though you might fail.
But failing is the worst.
And quitting doesn't feel much better, does it?
No.
This is one of those morals that I usually put an asterisk mark by because this only works to an extent. If Zephyr really only worked towards something for a few weeks, maybe that wouldn't be enough time to learn. Again, dependent on other people's experiences and case-by-case basis. If it had to be months or even years, maybe it just isn't working out. Honestly, I think both are hard. Trying is hard, quitting is hard. What matters is that you give it an honest try.
After all that work? A C. A lousy C.
Maybe, but it's an honest C. And years from now, when we're all just dusty black and white photos in some yearbook, that honest C is going to be worth more than that bogus A. Because it will mean that you earned something more important. Honor, man.
Oh yeah, I stopped only at the motive part. With the answer key and the fish standoff resolved and a pet almost freezing to death, is Fillmore don't question it. He gives them the honest option to either take the answer sheet or walk away and really study.
Run for your life! Oh, man, I knew you were gonna do that!
They choose the latter. I think with this and Zephyr Breeze's episode, I think I can forgive him on the grounds that we didn't get to know more about his journey. I already said before in my Fluttershy video that with Zephyr being the younger sibling, she stepped away to give him the attention she got as a kid, and it caused her to be more reclusive while Zephyr was overly spoiled. Nature versus nurture, I suppose. Don't know if I can forgive harassing Rainbow Dash most of Sparkle 7, but that was more played for laughs at her expense. And I know the comics aren't technically canon, but we do get a fantastic follow-up of Zephyr in issue number 74, Coiffure Conference, where not only is the first seen Zephyr working as a main stylist and having a better relationship with Fluttershy. But even better, his stubble is gone. And just to make the best cherry on top for him, this time we're going through imposter syndrome, something I didn't think MLP in general would talk about. Yes, we can make the same argument with Twilight becoming a princess, especially when bringing it up in Twilight's Castle and the first Equestria Girls movie.
What if now that I'm a princess, Celestia expects me to lead a kingdom of my own? Just because I have this crown and these wings, it doesn't mean I'll be a good leader.
But there is more leading up to it from her time as a foal to now. With Zephyr, he makes it sound like this might be sometime after graduating in Flutterbrutter in Season 6, but we already have the Student 6 here, which School Days is in Season 8. That is some strong imposter syndrome. Not that I would, relate to any of this.
The lady doth protest too much, methinks.
Mind your business! So to combat a bit of his anxiety, they suggest checking out a main styling conference with Fluttershy, Yuna, Sandbar, and Silverstream accompanying him. Honestly, this is a night and day type of Zephyr in the comic. He's realistically worried about looking like a fraud. He's self-conscious about doing a hairstyle on stage with judges looking over his work. And he's not as narcissistic and cocky as he was in Flutterbrutter. There's a bit of his personality every once in a while, but he's really genuine in his work. Even when talking to someone with more experience, and even did a fantastic job on stage with the judges' approval, his new friend Pixie Cut will still get panic attacks and anxiety talking in front of people. Needless to say, it got Zephyr to show his skills on stage, with great promise and some small critiques from the judge. I didn't know what to expect from Zephyr's comic, but man, is it a strong difference in character. Last character I think had a 180 like this was Sunset Shimmer, going from generic mean girl villain to one of my favorites in the EQG universe. She's just so sweet and relatable, you can't help but to like her. If you can turn your character from a cringe fest to someone with genuine feelings for what they do and even have trouble with their confidence in it, it gives you more of the character to see, and this shows how much influence Fluttershy really did for him to stick with main styling. Honestly, best siblings ever. As for the Equestria Girls short Blue Crushed, I think it's a good middle ground between the comic and his appearance in the show. Rainbow and Applejack are surfers, and Zephyr wants to roll with the big dogs, even though he doesn't know how to surf. He wipes out, gets a stern talking to, and even while still hitting on Rainbow Dash, she at least agrees to give him pointers.
Fine, but I'm only doing this for Gladys. He doesn't deserve you.
This shows that even when Zephyr does the wrong thing, he will see what he did wrong even through first-hand experience, and show that he does want to learn.
I've shocked you all, but Rainbow Dash, if you could find the strength to forgive me and the courage to keep from hopelessly falling for my maybe you could give me some tips?
I really didn't think I would have much to talk about with a character we've seen 2 times out of the full 9 seasons of the show. But I also didn't think it would be this easy to forgive a character that had such a, boisterous appearance. Maybe it was to make up for how meek and quiet Fluttershy's parents are.
Oh, this is lovely, dear.
We may not be as bold as you, Fluttershy, but don't you worry. We know how to stand up for ourselves.
Seriously, you two gave birth to this?
You don't have to come up with some excuse to hang out with me, Rainbows. Let's just go for a fly and see where the day takes us.
I'm gonna need balloons! One for every pony in Ponyville! There's smoke, and where there's smoke, there's fire, and let's see!
It really is a nature versus nurture type of family. But I think between the ideas of quitting versus not trying, and how it's not so black and white, I think I can give Zephyr the pass on this because after his first episode, there's nowhere to go but up. I'm Penny Wrights, and thanks for watching.
I did it. I actually finished something by myself.